town. I'm Jess Ryan, a proud West Lib alum and a community lover. And one of the reasons I love this community so much is all of the special nonprofit organizations that we have that are doing God's work day in and day out. It's not quite easy to be in a position as an executive director because not only do you run the whole organization, but you're also responsible for raising some of the funding. So all the shout outs and love to all executive directors of every nonprofit in the community, especially one of my favorite girls right here, Ashley Carpenter.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
So Ashley's with the Sexual Assault Help Center, and you have an event coming up. But before we get to that, for people who aren't familiar with SAC, let's talk a little bit about the organization, the mission, and all the good work you do.
Yeah, absolutely. So our mission really is to ignite social change, to end sexual violence, stalking, and human trafficking. And the way that we do that is kind of threefold. So first, we have a 24-hour rape crisis center where we do case management, consultations, all of those kind of things. So we help an individual heal from sexual violence, stalking, and human trafficking. And also anyone that's been affected, right? So anyone, even family members and friends. The second thing that we do is we don't want to stop there. We have to do prevention, right? Because we want to actually end it. We want to create a world where sexual violence cannot exist. That's our vision statement. And through that, we need to go out in the community, do prevention with schools, parents, adults, you name it. We have curriculum for every age, every category, every demographic. And then the third thing, because why not a group of 12 people just, do more things, we also need to make sure that our local laws, our policies, our procedures that we have, state laws are equitable. Right, so we have a group of individuals that go down every year and make sure that our laws on a state level and a local level are as equitable as possible and helpful for that healing.
I remember when you first started in this role, and there was not a lot of preventative that you could do because the funding for things like preventative does not really exist at a state, social, local, well, I guess more local, they care a little bit more locally, but on a state or a federal, any of those grants that you get in, not so much with the preventative funding. We'll fix it once it's broken, but not help fund. Has that changed much? Has the funding changed much from preventative care?
Yeah, so when we did first start, we had 20 hours as a whole organization to do prevention, and we serve 5 counties. So it's very, very difficult to do 20 hours and get through all of those. So really, we are missing the mark on all of our outreach communities. So the state has been gracious enough now to kind of give us some additional money, and we had to prove the statistics, right? We had to go out and we had to have this conversation about what prevention actually means and how effective it can be. And I think federally, nationally, we're starting to get into this idea that if we continue to flood prevention and saturate the culture and saturate the environment, we could do a lot of good and reduce the risk and reduce the amount of sexual violence that we see.
Perfect. Well, I'm glad that things have changed a little bit because I remember how difficult that was. And I appreciate you and applaud all your work that you've done with the organization. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Sure. So we have ROAR coming up, which is a super great event.
Yeah. So 2019, we had our Rock Out Against Rape event, our first one. It was very successful. It was awesome. Then we had Dun-da-da. Yeah, we had dun-da-da, COVID, right? So we are bringing it back. So we have our Rock Out Against Rape event, our ROAR event, June 8th from 7 to 10 p.m. Our doors open at 6:30. We're going to have a DJ. We've got music. We've got dancing. We've got food. All the grab bags, all the baskets, you name it. All of the proceeds will go to our programs within the Sexual Assault Help Center, and we're hoping that you join us. Tickets are $25 pre-sale and $30 at the door. So either way, you can come. So mark that on your calendar and come out and support our local survivors of sexual violence.
Do you have needs for sponsors, or of course you do?
Of course we do.
And what about volunteers?
So we're fortunate because I didn't actually did I mention River City? That's where it's actually located.
That's the location.
Okay, yeah. So River City is gracious enough to kind of get things set up. So we don't really need a whole lot of volunteers, but sponsorships are always wonderful, of course. WVU is a sponsor for us, so we are really excited about that. We've got several other sponsors, but of course, if you want to sponsor a great cause, please have my contact information and reach out to us.
Fantastic. So anything else you have coming up, any focuses? For example, if people wanted to reach out to you, is there a way that they can do that if they wanted to get more involved with your organization? How's that work?
Yeah, so if you want to get involved with our organization, we have, a couple of different things for volunteer-wise that you can participate in. And the easiest way is going to be, reaching out to us online, our website. We also have our 1-800 number that you can also call and reach out, and we can get you connected. So, but yeah, we have a lot of cool opportunities.
Great. Much needed organization, unfortunately, in the community, but what you do is so beautiful, and your team is very passionate about helping others, and we are very, very lucky to have your organization in the community.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. It was good to see you.
Yes.
Hello, my name is J.R. Oliash. I'm a campus police officer here at West Liberty University. I've been employed here since 1988. The job entails multiple things. For lack of better words, we do the normal police procedures, patrol, check doors, but we interact a lot with the students. The reward factor for me has been I've made some very, very good friends over the years who I've kind of like watched them grow up through their college career and kept in touch with them. My whole career has been enjoyable. If you did a highlight reel, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly parts of it, but mostly good. The people make West Liberty a special place. When I first started here back in the early 80s, they just made you feel very welcome. That's why I've stayed as long as I have, is because of the people.
Town. I am so excited to be joined by the most spunky library director you'll ever meet, Alex Schneider. Thanks for joining, Alex. It's been a while. I haven't seen you for a while.
It's been, a whole year. A lot has happened in that lovely year.
So the Brooke County Libraries,
yes.
You're the director of those organizations. What do you guys have going on? I know summer's coming up.
So definitely here to talk about summer reading, to let you know what's going on, what patrons can expect. Summer reading is traditionally the bread and butter for most libraries, so not just my library. You'll notice, though, that each library does it different. It might be a month long, a couple weeks, 2 months. Ours is a two-month affair. It starts at the beginning of June on June 3rd. It kicks off for our scavenger hunt that we have some of the local businesses sign up with us. Some of them are super busy, so they just put the image on their front door, and then our families kind of go by it. Or some of them really want to talk to our patrons, get to know them, and they hand out little goodie bags, juice boxes, things of that nature. The families come back with their completed scavenger hunt. It's for all ages, but traditionally it's families that normally sign up. And then so whoever completes it literally will get a small treat, and then we'll help them sign up for summer reading program. And then throughout those 2 months, as they're reading, they'll log their hours, log their books. It differs depending on which age bracket you fall in. And then by certain ones you get, if you reach certain levels, you get prizes. And then for the adults and the young adults, when they reach the end of it, they're actually going to be put in for a Kindle Fire this year. So we were actually able to get one. And so we have a couple of other prizes that they're able to raffle off, and then we kind of do like a raffle off event for other little things for the young adults and adults. But it's traditionally, obviously, always to stop the summer slide for kids of learning and just keep them engaged. But when I first came, I was like, I came from a library system where I grew up that had it for older ones, and I thought that it would be a perfect thing for the parents to interact with their children as well. So we have, unfortunately, low levels of proficient level reading in West Virginia, but across the U.S. itself. And so how can we kind of engage that? Well, mom signs up and the child signs up, or dad or grandma. Hey, I'm reading, I'm at a level 100, or you at a level 100. And so kind of that nice little thing to get them interactive, winning prizes, but it's not all about interaction of winning prizes. It's visiting the library. So this year there'll be codes that you can get when you visit the library. So if you're just checking out something, there'll be a code that week that you have access to. You get points towards the end game. So 2 months filled with adult programming, young adult programming, children's programming. We partner with Change and the Brooke County schools, who are the ones that roll out the summer meals. So we're one of their locations this year at the main location in Wellsburg, Monday through Friday. This year is going to be slightly different for the branch. It will only be on Mondays up there. But that's just because we have our story hours, and so we can dedicate that there will be somebody there to help them pass it out and have kids for it. But that partnership has greatly helped, obviously, the kids that are attending have a balanced meal, and then the parents go off. We had some parents right when we initially started the program, and they're like, no, we can do this at home. I said, listen, this is designed to make this so easy for you. Come have fun with us, learn, interact, socialize, have a nice lunch, and then you literally just throw them in the car or throw them back in the stroller and head home. So we want to make it a stress-free summer, educational, but something that adults can attend as well. And including that, there'll be the end of summer, parties that are at the end of beginning of August. So you have to get to a certain level to be able to attend that. So we're truly gearing up for all of that. Rolling out a few other new things. We just got Canopy, which is a streaming services. It has TV shows, movies, kids section. We got all 8 packages to start out with. And to be honest, we would not have been able to roll this out without the Board of Ed's help. So the Board of Ed is financially stepping up and, saying, we love the things that you're doing. And it's fantastic. They're able to broaden the connection that we've been able to do with some of our patrons. And so the goal is that hopefully every year we'll be able to, receive some sort of allocation that will help us continue to have these additional services that we can't afford at this point.
Yeah,
but with their
great.
help, it's fantastic.
That is fantastic. So I love your passion, because for you, it's not business as usual. You don't go to the library, this Monday and you go back and it's the same experience next Monday. You're always thinking about the kids. You're always thinking about your patrons, people in the community, and what they want to see. I want to ask you a question about online and audiobooks versus holding a book and all of that. Since you're the expert, I would imagine for kids it's probably beneficial to have a book and turning pages. I don't know why I feel that way, but I do. But then for like the middle school, and then even into adulthood, a lot of us say, oh, I went through this many books, but they were audiobooks. What's your thought process on that whole thing?
So I've always been the mindset that audiobook is reading. So even if you're doing audiobooks, you're reading. You're just getting it in a different format.
Okay.
So I've always said that whatever format you're getting it in is perfect for you. Now there's different levels for different people. Some people need the audiobook because they don't pay attention as well to the format on the book. Some people need the book because they don't tune out everything else. They're trying to listen, but they're doing something else at the same time. Or they could be like a hybrid like I am. I was never an audiobook person, actually, until I had my son. I narrowed down the time that I have for myself. So, commuting to and from work and listening to audiobooks. At nighttime, I might be, reading it on my phone or my Kindle. For the kids, I think it's perfect to have both of them there.
Okay.
But then that way they're accessing it the way they need to. And I say that because accessing a digital book, not an ebook, not an audiobook, but an ebook, allows a child who might have a reading deficiency, they have dyslexia, they have any broad range, they can make the paper of the back of it the background a different color. They can make the font a different color. They can enlarge the font, and now that's perfect for our adults that might be losing eyesight. We're getting older, our eyes are kind of dying on us, but at youth, we forget that having bigger font actually, research shows it helps them follow along. So to kind of combat that for our actual collection, we've slowly been buying large print titles for juvenile and young adult. So I have the Harry Potter series in large print. I have like some of the Rick Riordan, which is a huge, juvenile young adult author, in large print. All of those ones, literally, they look the same thing on the shelf. They just have a sticker that says LP so that we're aware of what we're pointing out. This one's going to look a little different. The margins might be a little smaller, but the font is bigger. And the research shows that they actually are able to follow along a lot better and pick up back to where if you say, interrupt real quick and ask a kind of a clarifying question of what did you just read, they can actually stop after they answer you and go back and find their place on the page. So audio books obviously is different. You're listening to that as an audio concept, but it's the same concept, same premise. You're just taking it in a different way.
Okay.
So it might be better that maybe they're just very active, but they listen very well, but they don't sit still. So then they can listen to a book while they're cleaning their room, while, they're making dinner. They can family listen.
Right.
So I really think that it just depends on the individual, be it a child, a youth, or an adult, because everybody learns a different way.
Right.
And I really wish that, when we were growing up, this was a bigger thing, because I can already think about, like, my brother and my sister were different readers than I am. Like, my sister is hardcore reading now, which is crazy because you had to find the certain genres. And my brother, it had to be, hunting, ATVs, all of that stuff. But it makes me think, would that have helped some that couldn't sit down to actually listen to some, if they would have actually listened to it instead of actually having to read it to comprehend, maybe they listened to comprehend a lot better. So I think it's fantabulous that we're pushing it forward, that we have better collections. They're expensive collections, and they are a lot more costly than the ones that you physically see in our library. So we always add the caveat of bear with us, because you might be on a hold list,
Right.
same as you're on a hold list for a physical book, but that book costs so much more money, so we can only allocate so many funds. But being in the consortium that the Brooke County Libraries are, we're in WV Reads, it allows the buying power to be a little bit bigger. So a lot more libraries are throwing in more resources, and we're offering more to our patrons.
Right.
And we're trying to cut down on hold times, but we've done comparisons of other consortiums, and we're, not doing the greatest, but we're not doing the worst. So we're, pretty competitive with regards to that. But other than that, I say take it in how you can. If you're not a reader, try an ebook, try an e-audiobook. Oh, you're a magazine. We have e-magazines on that as well. Oh, you don't read. We have DVDs. I have the TV series. So that's a huge thing for people, because streaming services are getting very expensive now. I know I'm feeling it, and so having the TV series in the library, being able just to put it in your DVD player. Our DVDs are doing fantastic. We still have audiobooks. And then we have random weird things you wouldn't think that you can check out a library. You have hotspots. I have a special collection that has cake pans and muffin tins, things you might only use once here and there. That's at the main. So we do circulate other weird things, weird in a nice way, that you would not traditionally think of as a library. Unique, but weird in a good way. It's not bad. It's just to stay relevant, you try to sit there and see what your community needs, and we try stuff. It doesn't always work. Our Kindles kind of flopped for us. Everybody had it on their phone, but our hotspots, they're constantly checked out. So you win some, you lose some. You bring on the digital. Like I said, we brought in Canopy. So the goal is that you might be able to actually download that app to your smart device or your smart TV that has the capabilities of having the newer app. And you just verify like you would in your ebooks and e-audios with your library card, and you can now stream stuff. Movies, TV shows. I literally was just on it yesterday, and I found out that Reading Rainbow was on there.
Oh my goodness.
And I looked at my son and I was like, what we're going to be doing for this summer is watching some of the Reading Rainbow, which is what got my love for, books and stories.
Oh,
And I'm like, oh, maybe I can kind of, funnel this into his brain and then he can take it. So there's just so many great things on there that we're hoping that trying this out, we're going to see what's working, what's not working. Do we need all 8 collections next year? Do we only need half of them? But you just try. You try something, and without the funder support of the different, local United Way, City of Follansbee, we have now the Board of Ed states, we're local levy funded. Without our public funding, we would not be able to meet the needs of our community. So it's always fantastic when people see that libraries are just not you have to be quiet. I love when I hear a child. I don't like when I hear a child cry, but they're in the library and they're crying. That means they're here, they're present, they're infused with, their surrounding. And I kind of get a secret pleasure when they're crying because they have to leave the library because I want them to stay forever. So it's fantastic.
Well, I love your passion and your excitement, and you pivot a lot within the libraries, and you don't feel strong-held to just books on a shelf. You're very forward-thinking, and I think you meeting the demands of other folks is important too, because a lot of the services that you mentioned are an expense-saving service that the library is providing for your community. So
I wouldn't be there without them.
Yeah.
Truly, I wouldn't have a job without the community.
Right. Well, thanks for all that you do.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you. You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex. All right, well, I know Alex works for the Brooke County Public Libraries, but all of our counties have wonderful libraries. We encourage you to reach out to all of them, to engage with your kids or on your own. There are streaming devices that cost something. There are books that you can get, audiobooks that might cost you something. The libraries are a way for you to reach out and have those services for free at a savings to you, brought in by local dollars, levies, as she mentioned, and some of the local support. So support your public libraries, and thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful week.
Hi, my name is Craig Bober. I'm a senior finance major at West Liberty University, and today I'm going to be showing you what it's like to be a part of this program. Heading to my first class of the day, investment portfolio analysis with Professor Jesse.
We're going to start off doing some current events, and then we're going to look at evaluating some stocks, figuring out the intrinsic value. We're going to do Knight, Tyson, Disney, and waste management. We need to make some investments with the investment club.
The finance program at West Liberty is an exceptional experience. In the program, there are amazing teachers that always make class fun and engaging. A new student enrolling in the program should expect a personable learning experience when you're engaging in classroom activities and building relationships with your teachers and classmates. I chose the major in finance because of my interest in the finance world and my want to pursue a career in business. My goals after graduating are to become a certified financial planner and help people achieve their retirement and savings goals. We're heading to my second class of the day, Management Capstone with Dr. Rakia.
So part of what we've been doing over the last several weeks was looking at the internal and external factors of the companies that you had chosen to research.
This major is good for others to consider because of the quality of education you receive and the relationships you build with the people in the business department. Professionally, with a finance degree, you have many different career options like banking, insurance, financial planning, or even tax services. I chose West Liberty University because I did not want to go far from home, but I still wanted to be away. Personally, what I like most about West Liberty is the great people that live here. West Liberty Business program attracts many people from different countries, so this provides you with a unique and diverse learning environment being here. We're going to be heading into the investment club meeting.
So as we talked about, here's our current portfolio allocation. So we still have about $5,000 left, so we need to make some investments.
The Investment Club is a student-ran club that is sponsored by West Banco, where we use real money to buy stocks and bonds to build a class portfolio. This club is a great place to learn about the stock market and how investing works. All the decisions that we make regarding our portfolio are voted on by all the members of the club. And now for my last class of the day, my finance capstone with Professor Jesse. West Liberty's Finance Capstone is unique because it is a CFP board-registered program, which is something that not all colleges offer. In this course, we learn about topics like ethics, retirement planning, tax planning, and risk management, which prepares us for the CFP exam. And now we're going to cap off the day with playing some basketball with my friends. Being a student athlete, there are many challenges that come with it, but the rewards far outweigh them. Through my 4 years of playing football here, I learned many valuable life skills and have built friendships that will last a lifetime. Thanks for coming along with me today, and for more information, just visit our website.